What's up? It's Luke here again from MiTiS Fitness, and today I'd like to talk to you about rest periods. So the reason I'm talking to you about this today is because I've been asked a lot of questions recently regarding how long someone should rest during the workout, and really it just depends on a number of factors. So the first one you've got to take into account is whether you're a beginner, intermediate or advanced. So the reason you need to take that into account is because it affects your body in a certain number of ways. So for one, when you're a beginner, the chances are you're going to be using a lot less weight. Relatively, compared to your levels of strength, it might seem like a lot, but relative to what your body is capable of, it won't be very much. So you won't actually need to rest as much as, say, so for example, if you're doing bench press, you're a beginner, you can do 40 kilos for 5 reps. You're going to do that for 5 sets. Now you're not going to need very long to rest for that. So it could be a maximum of 2 minutes, say. Obviously it all depends on you, but 2 minutes would seem like a good bet. Whereas if you're then intermediate to advanced and you're lifting 110, 120 kilos for 5 reps, that's going to take a lot bigger toll on your body, and it's not going to be as easy to keep up. So when you're doing that, your rest period might be as long as 5 minutes. As you can tell, is a big step up. So also, if you're a beginner, chances are your body's not actually going to be used to the weight you're doing. So if you're going to be doing higher rep ranges, sort of 10 to 12 reps, you might need to take a slightly longer period than someone who's actually intermediate to advanced with doing high reps. So for instance, if you're doing 10 to 12 reps of squat, you might, if you're new, you've been training for say 3 months, you might need to be taking up to a minute and a half to 2 minutes rest. Whereas someone who's quite adept at the technique, a lot more developed, they might even take just 45 seconds to rest. So it's kind of the inverse for strength and endurance and hypertrophy training. So just to recap, if you're lifting heavier weights, the chances are that if you're a beginner, you're going to need less time. If you're more advanced, you're going to need longer to rest. But if you're lifting a lighter weight for higher rep ranges, the chances are you're going to need longer as a beginner and shorter as someone who's adept at lifting. And then we move on to part 2, which is essentially depending on sort of rep ranges you're doing. So again, we've just talked about if you're doing low reps and high reps, but we're going to go on a more basic level just for each individual person. So let's say you've been training 6 months now. Well, a number of different rep ranges that have been incorporated, such as you'll see in the EHF program. Now, if you're going to be doing, say, 3x3, you're going to be looking at quite a long rest period if you're really pushing yourself. If it's near your max for 3, or if it is your 3 rep max, you might even be looking at sort of 3 to 5 minutes rest. If you're looking for 5 reps, the rest is going to be slightly less, but again, because it's quite low, I'd probably suggest 3 to 5 minutes. And you've got the next real rep range, which is for hypertrophy and strength, which is 6 to 8 reps. That you're probably going to be wanting to look at anywhere between 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Some people have really fast recovery, so they might be able to do it in sort of 60 seconds, but really optimally, I'd say 90 seconds to 2 minutes is probably best. Then you've got the higher than that, which is really sort of 10 reps and higher. No one really does 9s. I think it's just because it's not a very nice number. But they're going to be going from 10 upwards, and really in that sort of range, you want to be keeping it sort of like below 90 seconds. Body's going to recover a lot quicker because the weight isn't as heavy, and if you really want to be pushing yourself and work for that hypertrophy and endurance, which is essentially what that rep range is for, then you really want to be keeping the rest period low. It's also quite good for taxing the cardiovascular system if you're not fond of running or cycling. So that's us from MiTiS Fitness, giving you our tips on how long you should be resting during your workout. So thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the blog, I'll put the link just here, and see you guys later. The little dog. Hello, Wally. Oh, so good boy. Whoa, smile for the camera.